I actually agree with these college kids that Palestinian children matter.
Wow, what a nice, respectable man. I sure hope he doesn't go on to say the stupidest thing that he possibly f***ing could.
I do, however, wonder if Palestinian children in their mother's womb matter as well.
John McEntee, otherwise known as Date Right Stuff, otherwise known as that guy you sometimes see on TikTok nowadays saying the worst things that you could possibly think of, has recently sparked fury with a video claiming that he gives homeless people fake money in the hopes that they get arrested.
So when a homeless person asks for money, then I give them like a fake $5 bill, so I feel good about myself, they feel good. And then when they go to use it, they get arrested, so I'm actually like helping clean up the community. You know, getting them off the street.
However, when you look into this guy, there's a lot more to him than just being a guy on TikTok who gives bad takes. He formerly worked with Donald Trump, and he even has a whole dating app that he co-founded specifically for conservatives that manually reviews every account made on it to make sure that you're not liberal or too left-wing. And we'll talk about all of that in this video, don't you worry, but first of all, I think it's important that we watch the TikToks that have made him so popular to begin with.
The only masculinity that's toxic is when a man thinks he's a woman.
So this is basically the gist of what this guy does. Every TikTok is this exact formula. He sits down, he orders some food, he sets his tripod up because he has no fucking friends. It's clearly just a way to make him seem smarter than he actually is. Yeah, I'm dismantling every argument that the left has ever made, and I don't even need to try. I'm just doing it casually whilst eating my fucking burger and chips. Most people need to sit down with a script and gather an audience and dismantle all the arguments with careful preparation and factoids and all this evidence, whereas me, I can just go to the chippy and shit on women and talk about how abortion should be illegal.
I can't believe you got COVID last week. Thank God you got vaccinated a month ago, or it would have been way worse.
This one in particular really confuses me because he's just saying something reasonable and then putting liberal logic on top of it to make it sound like it's not a normal, like, respectable thing to say. Yeah, if you get COVID after getting a COVID vaccine, it is likely that it won't be as bad as it, as if you didn't get the vaccine. That's like sitting there and saying, oh, fucking hell, you were thirsty last week? Well, it's a good thing you drank that water because you would have been more thirsty if you didn't. Oh, I can't believe you broke your arm last week. It's a good thing you got a cast, otherwise you would be a lot worse off right now. Like, yeah, no shit, but it doesn't negate the need for a cast just because your arm is still broken.
Thank you. If gun-free zones work, why don't we set up rape-free zones?
See, it's ones like this where I don't even know what point he's trying to make. I'm not really aware of what a gun-free zone is. The whole country that I'm in is kind of like a gun-free zone. But I'm also not aware of any place in the world that isn't a rape-free zone. Like, surely that would just be everywhere. Again, maybe he's making a good point here and I just don't get it because I'm not American enough. I mean, enlighten me if you know.
Right stuff parenting tip. Teach your boys to become men before their teachers teach them to become women.
Yeah, but if you're learning anything about masculinity from a guy who orders his ice cream with a side of fucking teeny weeny tiny side of ice cream sprinkles, he's very precious, isn't he?
So a 20-year-old can't have alcohol, but a 5-year-old can pick their gender?
Now, I actually agree with this one. I think he's making a very good point. We should absolutely reduce the drinking age in America from 21 to 5 years old because, fuck me, it's way too high. We need to bring back those classic American values and give those 5-year-olds a cold one to enjoy so they can get through that shithole of a fucking country.
Welcome to America, where we can't afford health care, but we can somehow afford to bomb the shit out of the Middle East.
I mean, I guess a broken clock is right twice a day.
If you outlaw abortions, abortions will just happen illegally. But if you outlaw guns, then we'll all be safe.
Again, I see his point here. My sister actually tragically died when she was like 10 years old at a mass school abortion. And then my dad was actually involved in a drive-by abortion recently as well. And that was really scary for me and, the whole family. I mean, in all seriousness, this is a complete straw man. I don't think I've ever heard anybody argue that if you outlawed guns, every gun would disappear completely and that the whole country would be completely safe. Most people who argue that point are just sort of saying that we'd be a bit more safe if guns were outlawed because you can't just go to Walmart and buy a gun, which I've heard is insanely easy to do in America. And also, as far as I'm aware, if you outlaw abortions, they will just happen illegally. So it's not like that's a vapid point either. It's like marijuana usage. All you do by outlawing it is increasing the likelihood for more dangerous dealing.
So a man who doesn't want to take care of his kid is a deadbeat dad, but a woman who doesn't want to is pro-choice? Got it.
Yeah, this one might be the worst one, I can't lie. I don't know how you can even begin to compare a father who leaves a child to a woman who decides to abort someone who's not even born yet. There's so much wrong with what he's just said that I don't even know exactly where to start. He's saying a woman who doesn't want to take care of her kid is pro-choice. When no, that's not what pro-choice is at all. Pro-choice is a person wanting abortion to be legal. There's absolutely nothing deadbeat about not wanting to bring a child into the world that you know you can't take care of. If anything, the opposite is true. If you give birth to a child knowing full well that you can't provide them with a good life, there's more of an argument to say that you're a deadbeat then than not having it, at least in my opinion. There's nothing deadbeat about not wanting to have a child who might have been the result of something non-consensual or horrific. Like, I could easily just go through this guy's entire TikTok page and pick apart each TikTok like I have been doing so far in this video, but I don't think it would really achieve much because it's not difficult to see exactly what's wrong with the things that he's saying. I don't think anybody watching this video will find the credibility in what he's saying, and if you do, then justify this. Just try to justify this, because a lot of it is fucking ridiculous. This is what happens when you never grow out of your liberal college student gets wrecked by Ben Shapiro phase. So I've managed to find his app on the App Store. If I had an Apple device, I would absolutely go on it and try to make an account, but unfortunately, I don't have an Apple device, so all we can do is just look at the reviews, which we'll do right now. The Right Stuff is a dating app for the right wing. You can set a date, you can see who'd like to join you can upgrade to unlock even more connections and financially support this fucking loser. View profiles without pronouns. I mean, last time I checked, I thought everybody had pronouns, but sure. It's a good app, but there's no women. I love my country. I love the Second Amendment. And I love God. These days, it's hard to find a woman who values my patriotism. I mean, based on the videos that we've seen from Mr. Johnny McEntee, it's not difficult to realize why a woman doesn't really want to support him or download his products. It doesn't seem like he respects them very much. I'm pretty conservative, but this is an app for extremists to me. One of the get to know me prompts is January 6 was, and my favorite liberal lie is. This is a site that is a breeding ground for misinformation and hate. That's probably the most authentic review I could find. I salute that bloke. I mean, it does sound as though the app would just be a misinformation cesspool. I'm your average conservative who just wants to find someone with the same views as me. None of that pronoun stuff at all. But I was surprised to see this app is actually more liberal than I could imagine. There are more conservatives out there who aren't Christian. I hate this app. Guess it's just men. I don't know why people are so surprised that there's no women on the site. What kind of fucking woman would go on this website? So I've managed to find the... Look at that, when I zoom the camera in, it's like I'm fucking strangling you. How's that look? How's that look on the other end? Oh, whatever. Let's just fucking move on. I found something that I have to include in the video. Look at this as well. I can... Oh, up the light? That's fucking high. Lower it? Sorry, I really do keep going off track. I found the promotional YouTube channel that Date Life Stuff used to promote the app, I guess, and it is a fucking goldmine. I watched about a minute of the first video they put out, and I couldn't go without putting this in this video. It has to be done.
A dating app for all of us conservatives. It's called The Right Stuff, and it's launching this September. What I love most about it is that it's invite only, so not just anyone can join. First of all, it's free to use. And for my ladies, you'll never have to pay because we all get premium subscriptions for simply inviting a couple friends. Gentlemen, if you want access to premium, that's on you. So
that's the first thing you'll find that I think is quite humorous about this. All the reviews that we read earlier, the one problem is that, well, the biggest problem that they have seems to be that there's no women on the website, which makes sense because, as we established, John McEntee is a fucking misogynistic arsehole who no woman would want to support, so why would anyone... I don't know who this girl is, but I don't know how much she was paid. I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it, my friend. The point is that they knew that this would be a problem, so they made it so that premium would be free for women as long as they invited people in. But despite that, there are still no women on the website to the point where it shut the entire thing down immediately. Just to reiterate how pathetic it is, the app immediately died because no women signed up to it. Also, it being invite only sort of negates the entire point of it being a dating app. Like, what's the point of meeting new people if all the people on the app are people that you're inviting? You already know them, so what's the point of getting this app? For a group of people who love to boast about how manly they are, it's ironic that this is the most pussy shit they could ever do. This is the safe space of all safe spaces. They make it invite only because they know that they're gonna get a fucking cacophony of trolls and people just trolling the fuck out of them, as they should, by the way, because this shit is fucking ridiculous. This is basically a dating app for the people who've peaked in high school.
And by the way, those are the only two options, ladies and gentlemen.
This guy, John McEntee, is almost doing a better job parodying conservatism than the actual leftists are. This is about 10 times funnier than any, like, modern day SNL skit. This is like something that fucking College Humor shit would have done 10 years ago, if it was actually funny. Like, if you told me this was a parody, I would genuinely believe you. In fact, I'd probably sooner believe that it was a parody than it actually being real. But unfortunately, I mean, we know how it's gone at this point.
You'll start off by building your perfect profile. No pronouns necessary. We want you to put your best foot forward, which includes your favorite photos of yourself doing what you love or being.
Oh my god!
Our prompts give you the opportunity.
The fucking MAGA hat! Oh my god! This is unbelievable.
We're sorry that you've had to endure years of bad dates and wasted time with people that don't see the world our way, the right way. Okay, once you're in the app, you have the ability to scroll through profiles of people in your area.
It's John! It's the man himself! Tell you what, he could fucking use it, the lonely plonker.
So if you're a young conservative looking to amp up your dating life, go to joinrightstuff.com to gain early access. We need to get back to the right way of dating. See you there.
Fuck me. So that is the first promotional video they put out. I enjoy how, if you look at her eyes, you can clearly see she's reading off a teleprompter, which is, I guess, to be expected, but I just don't know how genuine that lady is being. I don't know if she was like a paid actress or if she actually uses the app. I doubt it. But all I'm saying is, to all the ladies watching this video, if any of you hate receiving oral or having orgasms, I think I found the app for you. So this video now is titled What Women Want, and it seems as though they've actually found like a diverse group of people to star in this video. You got a black woman, you got an Asian lady, which is surprising because I imagined that if you put your race as anything other than white on the app, it would just sort of crash and not know what to do with itself and your phone would fucking explode out of sheer confusion. I've just clocked, by the way, the light up here was the one making the lighting all weird. I've just had to lower that one, and now look at that. It looks so much more natural and less white and less like the demographic of people that will be using this fucking app.
Why do you want to date a conservative?
For me, at least, I know that we're gonna start off with some shared values.
Well, the conservative men I've dated at least know how to treat me like a woman.
Oh god. I mean, if treating you like a woman means no oral, no orgasms, you're not allowed to make your own choices, you're not allowed to have an abortion, you're not allowed to fucking... What else does John not like? You're not allowed to gain weight, you're not allowed to decide to not have a child, you just no integrity, do whatever they want, conservative values, prime woman, just good fucking shit.
I like that they understand their role in the relationship as a man.
I just prefer my men to be masculine.
Alright, I think that's giving it away. This whole thing's scripted. They haven't actually got a group of genuine women and asked them these questions on a whim. They absolutely just paid these people to come onto the video and say what they want to promote the fucking shite app that they're trying to do. But they shouldn't do it this way. I feel like if they're gonna do it, they need to find a way to get women to join instead of a way to get men to join. Because the men will come. The hardest part of any dating app, let alone one like this promoted by a bloke like that, is getting the woman to join. It killed the app immediately.
And what's the biggest red flag when it comes to dating?
A Democrat. No Democrats.
A Democrat.
Can't be a Democrat.
A Democrat.
That's easy. A Democrat.
No Democrats. It's a no.
This isn't real. It's not real. It's not real. I thought it would be like, a Vice thing. It's absolutely not real. I mean, I'm sure you didn't fucking need me to tell you that, but see, this is the perfect dating site for women who prefer men that are like currently really angry at that new Romeo and Juliet thing. Like, they really fucking hate that black actress. If you want a man like that, this app's perfect for you. I hope these women were paid fairly, but knowing John, probably not. Okay, now this one is a video about bad dates.
This guy seemed normal on his profile, but when we went out, he asked, "Oh, do you mind paying?"
Okay, so I've just watched it and it was just a really boring skit. There's not really much. Oh, fuck off. Alright, so I've just watched. Alright, so I've just watched it and it's just a really boring skit. It reminds me of Rhett and Link from like 8 years ago if they didn't have any charm or charisma or humor or anything that made them good. So the rest of the channel is just a bunch of really unfunny shorts and it looks like they gave up over a year ago, so back to me a couple hours ago, I guess.
You're probably not finding love because you're the problem, and God is protecting other people from you.
Imagine just opening TikTok and having that be the first video that you see. I'm dead curious now, is this guy single? Because if he's not, That'd be a real shock. He might be gay. He could be gay. He is in fact not gay and also single, and I found this very interesting TikTok that you should definitely keep in mind when you take the last one into account.
Hi, my name is Lindsay, and I'm searching for love.
This is a real TikTok. I don't think this is satire at all.
I'm recently single, I think, and I'm looking for someone who I can spend the rest of my life with, or at least the rest of my probation with.
This whole situation is just getting a bit sad. So this scallywag is in his mid-30s, hasn't dated since he was 22, but you bet your bottom dollar that he has every right to tell you that you're the problem and how to find a partner. Maybe he should take his own advice and realize that he's the problem.
You're the problem.
And change some of these ridiculous views so that he can actually find someone who wants to shag him.
Call me old-fashioned, but I'm glad my mother was a woman.
I genuinely have no idea what he's trying to say in half of these videos.
I'm just gonna ask this one more time. Why do we only judge white people for owning slaves when every culture had them?
Oh god, this one was huge as well. This one went everywhere, and a lot of people point out that you can see the woman sort of look behind her like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Which I don't exactly blame her for, but it's also a very easy question to answer. The majority of other cultures who had slaves didn't base those slaves off of the race. The treatment of slaves in America is also some of the worst treatment that slaves had endured in the whole history of humanity, which, considering its recency, is especially potent. And probably the most important, I don't think people are really blaming white people of today for slavery. I mean, I'm certainly not, and I don't know anyone else who does. Is this a thing that people just do in America? Like, if you're a white guy in America, will you be personally blamed as though you're the one who committed the sin of slavery? If so, then I guess I can understand why he made this video, but I hardly doubt that.
If our government can fund 2 wars simultaneously, then they're taxing us way too much.
Okay, I guess first of all, his take on wars seemed to be a lot more agreeable and, I guess, reasonable than his takes on everything else. Second of all, this precious little anime subby-wubby ooh-woo baby really loves his sprinkles.
I was watching TV yesterday, which I usually don't do, and I noticed something with the commercials. When did everyone in America become black and gay?
He unironically gives off, like, Michael Scott vibes. Like, next time you watch one of his videos, just picture Michael Scott saying it, and it's like he is Michael Scott. Alright, I think I'm done with his bastard TikToks. Let's go on to the juicy stuff. There's an article here that says, Trump's former body guy, Johnny McEntee, sparks backlash with outrageous video posting about giving homeless people fake money so they get arrested. Now, we've already covered that, talked about that. There's not really much to talk about there. He released that video, you've seen it already, and people were angry because it was fucking stupid. Like, even if it was a joke, which I'm sure it was, I'm sure he doesn't actually do that, it's just not very funny, and it comes across as very pompous. It also doesn't help that he's just an annoying, smug prick. The former Yukon College quarterback has one of the most bizarre and controversial histories of Trump's inner circle. McEntee began working for Trump at the age of 25 as his body guy, carrying around the then presidential candidate's bags and relaying messages. So he's literally famous for carrying Trump's bags. He was fired in 2018 when a background check turned up a gambling habit that was so serious it was seen as a potential national security risk. So bear that in mind every time he talks about masculinity. Like, is that his example of moral righteousness and masculine ideals? To have a gambling addiction so bad that you lose your incredibly prestigious job over it? Just to be perfectly clear, I'm not downplaying the seriousness of gambling addictions. I understand that it's a very serious problem, and if you have it, you do genuinely need help and sympathy. However, I'm just critiquing this guy for having one because he's the same person who critiques overweight people for not having the willpower to, you know, put a fork down.
If guns kill people, I guess forks make people fat?
It's just very hypocritical for this guy to criticize someone's lack of impulse control when his lack of impulse control was literally posed a national security threat. Anyway, a change of White House Chief of Staff brought him back, this time as a director of the Presidential Personnel Office responsible for hiring and firing staff. He went about his work with the zeal of a loyalist, rooting out anyone he deemed insufficiently Trumpist. Okay. McEntee also wrote a list of objectives for the end of Trump's presidency, including getting troops out of Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Germany, and Africa. He tried to force the issue by drafting a memo ordering the withdrawal. So John made a fake document talking about the things that he wanted to do, took Trump's signature from an email and put it on there to make it seem as though Trump was ordering this thing to happen. In short, he's a completely irresponsible fucking idiot who doesn't know how to do any of his jobs right. Even liking a Taylor Swift Instagram post was suspect because she was critical of Trump. According to Carl, McEntee brought on a staff of young Trump activists who were comically inexperienced. A senior official said that he hired the most beautiful 21-year-old girls you could find and guys who would be absolutely no threat to Johnny in going after those girls. This guy's a fucking freak, and there's a whole article about that as well. Fucking idiot. College quarterback 31 ran Trump's White House in the final days by cracking down on staff liking Taylor Swift posts, hiring a former rocker and Instagram influencer as interns, and trying to get Pence to overturn the election, new book claims. Alright, listen, I'm not going to get into all of this. The articles are there. You can read them if you want. I think we've covered enough to establish that he's not exactly the most righteous or virtuous person in the world, despite what he tries to portray in his TikToks. So just bear that in mind next time you inevitably see a TikTok of his, because he uploads like 3 a day and they go crazy viral. That's about it though, so much love and I'll see you in a bit. Bye.